Hey crocheters, welcome back. So this is just going to be a quick tutorial on how you're going to maybe sew a second aspect or weave in some loose ends to kind of close off the top, and just do a couple different techniques that involve this wonderful tool called a tapestry needle. So you will notice I don't have one on hand to compare, but a tapestry needle is a bit thicker than your typical IVE needle. You can see how it's much more like closer to the thickness of the yarn rather than the thickness of a hair, for example. So off screen I did kind of just make this little pair of leaves because I guess this test went from being a hat to becoming this weird otherworldly chocolate strawberry thing. So to start, we are just going to close off the top of our little thing. You can see that I have some polyfill in there. You can use a lot of different stuffings. That's just what I have on hand. So I know some people prefer to kind of thread their needles like this, where you just kind of shove the yarn in. There are other techniques that I prefer, so I will be right back. Okay, so the biggest helper is having a guide. You don't need to like get one online or something. This is literally just, I took a piece of paper from my chemistry notebook, I ripped it out and then tore off a little bit that I just tested off screen to make sure it fits through the eye of the needle, and it does. So what you're gonna do is you are going to take your weaving yarn, so that is a purple yarn for this, and you're just kind of gonna take it and settle it in so that your guide, this like the thickest part usually, I know some people use scissors, I just tear it up and use the organic shape as I need, and kind of pinch it shut so that you can just put it through like that. And then now it's not attached in any way, it's literally just a folded piece of paper, and you have your tail easily threaded. So this is the big part, is you can kind of see how there's like a gap because of how quickly I decrease. Usually it's a bit more gradual, like you'll decrease and then single crochet and then decrease and then single crochet. I just want to get this done quickly, so I am going to kind of you can kind of see how I'm going almost like I'm weaving with, I go under some, over others, and just kind of do that. Make sure that you always have the end of your tail with you, and you're just kind of do that. You can go through your bars, and you just do that all the way around until you've completed your circle, and if you pull it tight, there is no hole at the top, so you can't really see any of the polyfill, and then all you gotta do is weave in. Here, you can see I just kind of rounded it out a bit, and the biggest thing you'll do is you just kind of plunge your needle in and then pull. Different types of projects have different techniques. This is more something you'd see with like a flat thing like the scarf I showed you earlier. The tassels kind of help cover that up, so you don't need to worry about that too much if that's something you would want to think of, but I do not have my little flat test strip with me, so I can't really show you on that one. But it's basically the same technique. You just kind of weave in and out. Once you get to a place where you like, you can just kind of plunge your needle in like really far and pull it out, and then this little flyaway, all you need to do is grab some scissors and cut it. It's the same thing I'm gonna do for our starting thread, so you can kind of see how that is actually the original knot from the magic crochet at the bottom, or the magic ring, sorry. And I will just use my little guide. It is getting a bit beat up because it is literally just a piece of paper, so after a couple folds it can get kind of unstructured and flimsy. You'll hear a school bell in the background, I apologize for that. And then you just kind of in and out, your way around. So I just like doing it in a quick circle until I can see where I've made my first stitch, which this is also something that carries over from I embroider and or sew sometimes, so that's just a personal preference I have. I know As always, lots of people have lots of different ways they do things. This is just how I do things. As always, go look up something on YouTube, see what other people are doing. Maybe it works better for you. So I'm just gonna do that final plunge and pull through. And that is all done. So I will pause and just get this little green guy placed on top, and then I will show you how we weave like sew on little aspects. And then we will have our completed alien chocolate covered strawberry, we'll call it. Rainbow crocheters, welcome back. So this is just going to be a quick tutorial, or just like a little addition on how to sew something in. So this does have this extra chain that sometimes you'll use, sometimes you won't. I could use it for this. I will see. Actually, I don't think I'm gonna have enough of this green, so real quick, let me just use my guide to get this black in, and that will actually be how we attach it. That will not be how, so there's two parts to this. There is just the attaching the bottom to it, which can be ugly, and then there is securing the top, which we are going to use this green for. And it's basically just kind of gonna be making sure that it's placed the right way, and then almost making, like, in this case, an X shape that's just kind of like securing the top. So you can kind of see like a mock-up of how that'll look. Obviously these lines will be a bit tighter because I will be having actual tension on them. So to start, you're just going to figure out which is the bottom. On a lot more of these add-ons, it's a bit more clear. On this one, it's literally just I made it after the magic ring tutorial, just randomly. So it doesn't really have a super clear, this is how you do it. So to start, I am just taking my yarn, kind of plunging it through the top at these corners, and then through the bottom, pulling that up so that it is now in the purple, you can see. And that's gonna be hidden under the flower, we'll call this. And then I'm just going to come back up through this top section, reposition as needed, and I'm just going to pause and come back when this is done because this is a bit boring and a lot of, oh no, my hands are covering everything. Back, I did just kind of, you can see where I did my little stitches, so I am going to have to bury this, but I will do that off camera. This actually turned out pretty well. I don't have to do a lot of detail stitching, so the only thing I'm gonna do is I am just going to kind of try to pull this through the center, make sure that it is going where I want it to, make sure all the green yarn is in the tapestry needle because evidently some of it got out. Sometimes you'll have to deal with that, the fraying. A lot of times it's a really easy fix, or you can just cut off it if it's not solderable. So I am just kind of gonna go straight down through the bottom of my strawberry guy, if it would come out. Hello? Okay, I've lost the hook, or the needle. I guess not then. I guess I will have to come out through the purple, which that is a bit high contrast, but that is what scissors are for. So I am just going to really quickly make a knot of the black and the green, make that a double knot so that it stays secured, and then I will come back after everything is trimmed so you can see the final product. Thanks for crocheting, guys. Guys, welcome back. So I have my final little alien strawberry. You'll notice that there are some like little tidbits and stuff sticking out, maybe a frayed edge here or there. That is really just a me thing. I am not great about actually cutting that in the way I'm supposed to. So this is just like a fun little squishy guy, and this was literally just resulted from me showing you how to make a magic ring. So it just goes to show crochet really can make anything, do anything. If you're following a pattern, that's great. If you're making your own, even better. Thanks for coming.